Vegeta's back on Earth, the androids have arrived, and Goku has died from the heart virus. With Goku having a natural cause of death, how are they supposed to revive him? We'll be covering that and more in this fifth part of What If Tien Was the Strongest. With basically no other options in mind, the group decides to go to Namek. A ship is built. Popo is able to find Kami's old ship, and Kami decides he does want to go along too. With Bulma's help, the ship is upgraded as well. Tien, Krillin, and Vegeta are on the crew to go to Namek as well as Kami. Kami's not going to miss out the chance to learn more about himself. Not to mention, maybe learn more about the Dragon Balls and how he could upgrade his own. They depart Earth, and after a short time traveling, they make it to Namek. Of course, this time it's peaceful, there's no threat of Frieza being there or anyone. And because of that, it is a pretty quick trip. It's not like they're there to fight or anything. Plus, with Kami as part of the crew, the Namekians are a lot more inclined to help. They learn about the Dragon Balls on Namek, and it turns out, Porunga has the same restriction as Shenron. There's no way he could revive anyone who died of natural causes. It's a shame they came now because Elder Guru recently died. Mori's the current Elder, and maybe Guru would have remembered Kami, or at least the Namekian he split off from. And Mori says technically, it might be possible for Shenron to revive Goku, but it's a stretch. They've never attempted it, but the restriction with Porunga is the fact that he can't revive anyone who died of natural causes. However, they don't know if that's a hard limit, or if it'll just revive the person, and then they'll die of the natural cause right after. Theoretically, it might work if you split it into two separate wishes. I mean, look at what happened with Guru in canon after all. He was revived, and he eventually did die right after. But it did temporarily bring him back, it just didn't fix the cause of his death. But again, they have no frame of reference, and they don't know this, it's just what we know. And Guru wonders if maybe Kami should have merged with Piccolo to get his old power. That could also help too, because imagine how much stronger that would make Shenron. That's kind of an issue though, because Piccolo has long since been sealed away, and even if they did free him somehow, how would they get them to merge together? He wouldn't willingly agree to that, and he has a bargaining chip, himself. If he just game ends himself, that would kill Kami as well. Tien has a suggestion though. Why not use the Dragon Balls to merge them together? Well, that would be kind of tough because Shenron would need to be stronger than Piccolo, which he isn't. Although, Porunga might be strong enough to actually accomplish this. They're not entirely sure, but it's worth a shot. So they collect the Dragon Balls around Namek, and all the other Namekians are willing to give the Dragon Balls to them, particularly because of Kami. So they summon Porunga, and they see that he's a much different looking dragon than Shenron, but still pretty similar. Although it is pretty amazing to see him because he's massive. Kami makes the wish, and Porunga says he can make it work. Thankfully, King Piccolo is dormant, so he's not resisting at all. Plus, I'd imagine Porunga is stronger than Shenron anyways. And while Piccolo still might be stronger than Kami, neither surpasses this power. Porunga is able to merge the two of them together, and Kami feels a huge change. He's reformed into the nameless Namekian, but also at the same time, he grows a lot stronger too. He doesn't inherit King Piccolo's youth because, well, King Piccolo never got that here. So he's still an older Namekian, and he looks pretty much the same. But technically the Namekian you're seeing right now is the nameless Namekian. So this trip benefits them in a few ways. For one, it powers up Kami. 2, he learns more about the Dragon Balls and how to modify his own Dragon Balls. And 3, he learns about what might be a loophole. Maybe they can actually revive Goku. It is going to take some time though. Kami's going to go back to Earth, try to upgrade Shenron, and then they're going to have to find the Dragon Balls there. But it shouldn't take more than a few days to do that. They thank the Namekians and return home. Tien and Krillin spent the entire time training. Vegeta only went along because he actually did want to see this planet, and if they had the same set of Dragon Balls there. Plus, he is interested in reviving Kakarot. Once they return to Earth, Vegeta goes off on his own, and Tien tries to go back to Otherworld to visit King Kai. Thankfully, he's welcome there and Kami's able to bring him there too. And when he gets to King Kai's planet, he's greeted by Goku. This is the whole reason he wanted to go here. He felt like he might meet Goku in the first place. He tells Goku everything that's gone down, and Goku says it's not too bad here. I mean, he's been here before, but not actually dead like this. But hey, he could train 24/7. The past few weeks he's been here, he's just been doing that. And he's met a lot of strong warriors here too. And, unlike normal, he's not really hesitant about coming back. It's not like he feels the same level of guilt for drawing villains to Earth, and, of course, it's not like he had a fun death either. Like, he didn't go out in battle, he died to a virus. So, he's more than willing to be revived. Tien stays up here for a bit and spends some time training with Goku. Kami's then able to collect the Dragon Balls, and he also upgrades Shenron in the process. So here's the thing, we know the Dragon Balls can't revive someone who died of natural causes like that. And typically, I won't ever do this in my what-ifs. But there's a few reasons I'm going to try and make it work here because, first of all, it's an April Fool's what-if, and this won't be the craziest stretch. And second, it's so rare I get to have a what-if where Tien and Goku are rivals, so let's do this. So think of it like this. In the original story, this was also Goku's second death on Earth, so regardless, even if he could be revived from the heart virus, Shenron already revived him once, so that prevented it anyways. And the way I assume this could work here is the fact that Shenron could just revive the person, but it won't cure the cause of death right away. But here's the loophole. If Shenron can grant 2 or 3 wishes, that could be dealt with. And with Shenron being upgraded here, he can do that now. Plus, this is Goku's first death in the story, so it's not like he's getting the same wish twice. So we're not really changing the rules of Shenron, we're just kind of bending them a little and seeing if there's a loophole there. And this is what Kami does. He makes 2 wishes at the same time. He tells Shenron to revive Goku, and once he's back, immediately cure him. And he understands that this counts as 2 wishes, he just wants them to happen at the same time. and Shenron says that's simple enough to grant. He does so. Goku is brought back to life, and simultaneously, his body is cured of the heart virus. And it works perfectly. Although, Kami does have one more wish left, so he decides to revive everyone killed by 17 and 18 because a bunch of people did die in that city. Although, he's a little bit hasty with how he phrases this. He just has to revive everyone killed by 17 and 18, not realizing that there was someone bad killed by 17 and 18. Dr. Gero. Right when they're awakened, they kill Gero like normal. And inadvertently, this wish revives him. He or Shenron never specified to revive only the good people because they assumed that only good people died anyways. Gero's immediately brought back and he's really confused, so he has to catch himself up to speed. Learning of what happened, the androids ended up losing in the end, and honestly, he's kinda glad that happened because, well, they betrayed him. He could go back to building Android 19, or maybe back to one of his past projects like 13, 14, 15, maybe even 16, but no. He's done building other androids. He's already modified himself too, which is pretty nice, but he has a much better project in mind, something far more perfect than those androids. The good thing is, no one even knows Gero's back to life. Hell, they probably don't even know about his existence in general, so this is a good thing. He doesn't even know how he came back in the first place, but he won't question it. So, he doesn't work on any other androids, and not even Android 19 is used. He puts all of his efforts on Cell instead, and now we enter the time skip after the Android saga. Of course, at some point, Vegeta and Goku would fight again. Thanks to Goku going to Otherworld and training 24/7 for a few weeks, he actually did grow a little bit stronger. Plus, like I mentioned before, he did unlock Super Saiyan right before he died, so in Otherworld he got a better control on that. Although it was only a few weeks there, so it's not like it makes a huge difference, but I think it's enough to actually make it so they're both even right now. Vegeta wins his first fight against him as a Super Saiyan. The next fight, he loses, and the fight after that, it's pretty much a draw. The two are dead even. Each of them also wants to get past Tien right now, but he's also far ahead. Tien is pretty separate from the group though. He does spend a lot of his time on the lookout with Kami. I mean, he is Guardian of Earth, that's where he needs to be. And they visit from time to time, but besides Chaozu who lives with him, no one ever really sees him. It's not that they don't want to, and it's not that Tien's purposely separating himself from the group, but this is just his duty now, and he's fine being up here. He's growing stronger, still training, and he has Chaozu here too, who weirdly enough is still in Ginyu's body. Kami even suggests getting the Dragon Balls because now Shenron can grant 3 wishes, so it's not like it's going to be a big issue, but Chaozu's grown used to this. Plus, by now he's grown so used to the body that it would set him back a little bit. Like, it's going into a weaker body that can't really control his powers as well. So he keeps procrastinating with it, and then at some point, it just becomes too late, so he just decides to stay in this body. Tien still is interested in training with Goku and Vegeta, so he visits them occasionally, trying to fight them himself. Plus, he does want to train Gohan as well, after seeing all his potential, and the fact that they're both hybrid aliens. He wonders if Gohan has more potential than him because Saiyans are pretty strong. He still doesn't know much about the Triclops people, but they're at least learning more about Saiyans from Vegeta. And even without Tien around, Goku's around. And Gohan has a nice balance in his life because he gets to study like Chi-Chi wants, but also train like Goku wants. Again, him not being kidnapped by Piccolo in the Saiyan saga actually ended up working out pretty well here. Chi-Chi's not as opposed to training. As for Kami, he's not really going to be much of a fighter. Like, yeah, he grew stronger merging with Piccolo. I'd imagine far stronger too, because look at how strong Piccolo grew when he merged with Kami. But still, unlike Piccolo in the main series, Kami doesn't have eternal youth. Kami is still an old-ass man, which is fine, he's still powerful, but right now it's not enough to catch up to the others. Although, maybe he would have the idea of possibly wishing for youth because he knows King Piccolo wanted it, and now Piccolo's part of him. So, the thought crosses his mind. But at the same time, he's retired. That's the whole reason he had Tien become Guardian, so it would be kind of pointless. He should just enjoy his old age now. He doesn't need to be a warrior or anything. Plus, Earth has been pretty peaceful recently. It's not like they need that. I still feel like some of the great Saiyan stuff will happen for Gohan, although one difference is Mr. Satan is not going to be a world-renowned hero. He's still going to be the world champion of the tournaments, but he never saved the world. I feel like the biggest difference that would make is that Satan City wouldn't be called Satan City. He's still going to be super famous, and Videl's still going to be a vigilante, basically. Although at some point, a new world tournament begins. Following the 7-year time skip, we get to this. And of course, everyone wants to join the tournament. Kami stays up on the lookout and tells Tien he should go join. Same for Chaozu. Yamcha shows up too. He's been spending a lot of time with Krillin because, unfortunately for Krillin, he's still single here. But at the same time, thanks to Tien being a motivator, Krillin's grown stronger, continuing his training, and that rubbed off on Yamcha as well. Especially after Vegeta ended up stealing Bulma from him. It's not like they really had much else to do. And yeah, Vegeta's with Bulma, so Trunks is born by now. Same for Goku and Chi-Chi having Goten too, if that wasn't obvious. So while this tournament doesn't have Android 18, it still has a few other contestants that it didn't normally have. Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha are there. But also somebody else that they don't recognize. One of the people registering for the tournament steps up to the punching machine, showcasing an amazing amount of power, and everyone's pretty dumbfounded by his strength. Not just because he's physically powerful, but his ki feels so weird. It's like a mixture of everyone else's. And he doesn't look like a normal human either. He looks pretty alien, in fact. The contender registers for the tournament. His name is Cell. All these years, Gero's been working on him, and he decided it would be better to just make him perfect right off the bat. He's gathered a lot more data, accelerated Cell's growth, and most importantly, made Cell obedient to him. But Cell does still have his own free will and such. It's just that his only ally is Gero, and Gero put him in this tournament to kill Goku as well as his friends. As far as they know, he's just a random mysterious fighter that somehow has energy similar to theirs, so that kinda tips them off. Cell then approaches Goku, telling him he can't wait to fight him. He's heard so much about him, same for his friends. How does he know all of them? Something's definitely off here. And even though Tien is the strongest one here, the Red Ribbon Army's gripe was with Goku originally, so that is Cell's main target. Shin and Kibito are of course at the tournament, and they're watching on pretty confused. Gero's also in the stands as well, hidden amongst the crowd. But Shin and Kibito don't know who this fighter is. He's someone they know nothing about. One of the first fights is Cell versus Spopovich, and with one hit, Spopovich is sent flying out of the ring. There's nothing he could do to Cell. Angrily, Yamu then tries to jump in the ring and steal energy from him, thinking that he might be a good target, because Babidi actually thinks so too, communicating with him from far away. And when he tries to steal Cell's energy, he can't even get close to him. Cell puts a barrier up around himself, and then telekinetically, he lifts up Yamu and Spopovich and tosses them out of the entire arena. And since it wasn't Cell's fault, they're actually disqualified for attacking him outside of the tournament itself. And they briefly sense his energy flare up there. He has such a crazy mixture of energy. They sense Goku, Vegeta, Tien, the Ginyu Force, Frieza. Everyone's in there. This is a much more potent Cell than normal. The tournament starts progressing, and without Spopovich and Yamu, Shin and Kibito don't know how to find Babidi's ship. But that's fine, because Babidi comes to them instead. Well, not literally. He sends Dabura in his place. In the first round, one of the fights is Krillin versus Yamcha. But before they begin, a demonic-looking man appears in the middle of the arena. Dabura has infiltrated the tournament, then simply lifting his hand up as the arena around him explodes, flinging everybody away, sending those in the crowd into a panic. Shin and Kibito watch on in terror. They didn't think Dabura would show up here, and Gero's in the stands just watching on confused. Who the hell's this guy? And naturally, our protagonists are pretty confused as well. Same for Cell. But Dabura has been sent here to get energy from Cell instead, because it seems like that might be easier. Plus, Babidi might be able to manipulate him. Dabura then glares over at Cell, smirking. Cell's not intimidated at all, though. A new challenger. Interesting. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.